Okay, hello class. Let's get started with lab number 5, the Linux file system. In this particular lab, we're going to cover pwd, cd, and ls. There is also the tree command, real path, and those commands you can find that in the presentation. But the ones that we want to focus on are pwd, cd, and ls. This trio here is your eyes and feet when you are working in the command line and you're navigating the file system. So we have 3 questions in this lab. Question 1, moving around the file system, split it in two, using pwd and cd with absolute path, and then the same thing but using relative path. Then you have question number 2, using the ls command used for listing files and directories. And you have then question 3, challenge question. Now for question 1 and question 2, I gave you here already the solution. Right, so if you get stuck at a particular part, you can just come here to this image and you can see the solution. I urge you to try to solve them on your own. But again, the solution is there for you because this is practice. We want to get good at using these commands. Now, instead of starting with question 1 and 2, what I want to do is that I want to explain the challenge question first. So I want to explain the challenge question first, just in case you decided to do 1 and 2 on your own, and you decided to just come straight to see the explanation of challenge question. So for this challenge, we're going to bring all 3 commands together, plus the real path command and the tree command. You're going to download and execute this script, right? So all we have to do is we're going to copy these commands, open the terminal, paste, and enter. And it'll do the trick. So don't close the terminal yet. Let's continue here. A scenario. Because it is October, and October is the Halloween month, and Halloween happens to be my favorite holiday, I decided to spy things a little bit. You have been kidnapped by Barlow's minions and brought to the Marstern's house. You wake up disoriented and surrounded by darkness. Your only light comes from your smartphone, the PWD and the LS command. Your legs are weak, but you can still move one room at a time using CD with relative path. Somewhere within this house, there are 5 hidden keys. Each one contains a piece of the code that you need to escape. Once you find the key, rebuild its true location using the real path command. Only then you will know where you truly are. So that is just a description, right? We have been locked in a folder. The folder is a mansion. Every room in that mansion is another folder, right? So a child directory. And you have hidden keys, which are just regular files, are all around the mansion. You're going to use the cd, pwd, ls3, and real path command to move around this mansion and figure out where these keys are. So go inside each room and then see if the file is there. Then annotate where you find those files. And finally, use the real path command to reveal the location of each and every one of those keys. So challenge, explore the master's house. How I'm gonna know that you did this challenge? Well, you're gonna show me the ls, pwd, and cd commands that you use to move around. You need to use relative path when navigating with CD. I don't want you to use absolute path for this challenge. Just use relative path because I want you to get into the habit of moving between folders that are close to each other. It is easy to type a full path and then just jump from one place to the next, but relative path takes a little bit more of brain thought. You need to train your brain to understand how to move from folder to folder easily. You must use absolute path only when revealing each key's location. So when you use the real path command, there you can use absolute path if you want. The commands that you're allowed to use are ls, pwd, cd, tree, and real path. Nothing else. No other command is allowed in this challenge. Deliverables. Submit screenshots of the following. You're going to give me the full map of the master's house. So I want to see all the folders, all the rooms in the master's folder. Using absolute path, the absolute path of each of the keys using the real path command. And that's it. So you're going to show me the full map of the master's house. So the main folder and all of the um, child directories. And you're going to show me the path of each and every one of the hidden keys that you found. Yep, and that's about it. That explains the challenge question. So I'm going to go back to my terminal. All right, let me go full screen on this. So again, this is just the description, right? After you execute the script marston's house.sh, everything in Silent Slop is connected to the house. You can see it from every part of the town. It is like a beacon throwing off an energy force. And if you're a Stephen King fan like me, you're gonna realize that the monster's house is the Barlow's, the vampire house in the Salem Slot book. It is the scenario that we read already. The challenge, same thing as we saw in the lab, and deliverables, the same thing that we saw there. After running this script, if you list your current directory, you're gonna see that you have a file called Marston's house. You have a folder there. This here is the folder where all of those hidden keys are. This is all I'm going to show you for the challenge question. If you need further explanation, reach out to me in Slack and we can expand on it more as you need it. With that said, I want to go and start with questions 1 and 2. And what I will do is that I am going to practice the commands and explain further in each one of the commands. So if you need extra practice with the commands, this is a good opportunity for you to get that extra practice, right? If you're just looking for to confirm if your solution to the problem is correct, then I say go take a look at the image that I left in the lab, because that's going to be more effective for you, be more time effective for you. So I'm going to clear the screen over here and let's go to the instructions. So let's move all the way to question 1, moving around the file system using PWD and CD with absolute path. So remember that absolute path is the complete address, the complete path of a file in your computer, starting at the root of the file system. So I want to introduce you to this document, this article that I wrote for you over here in extra the Linux FS. So I'm going to move it over here. This here is a summary of the entire lecture on navigating the file system, and I recommend that you give it a read if you're having issues understanding these topics. So the root of the file system is the beginning of your computer. So an absolute path starts at the root and ends with the file name that you're trying to reach. So for question 1, it says open Tilix or whatever terminal application you want and tell me where you are. What is your present working directory? And every time you see that question, the answer is always going to be PWD. Let me just put this side by side. Boom. Yep. Good. Next, change your present working directory, meaning go to that other folder, move to that other folder, and the folder is the themes directory. So we start at the root, go inside user, then go inside share, and then go inside themes. So let's do cd, change directories, root, user. Notice that I only type the first 2 characters and then I press the tab key on my keyboard because, humans make mistakes and auto-completion help us with making typos. Themes, boom. Okay, enter. I am inside the themes directory. Notice that my shell tells me what I am. But if I want to know, I can always type pwd and the output shall be the absolute path of my present working directory. We answered this already. Change your present working directory to the root of the file system. So if I want to go to the root, cd root, enter, done. And that takes me all the way to the beginning. Change your PWD to the 0 folder that is located inside CPU, that is located inside def. So we're going to do cd def CPU 0. If for whatever reason you can't find this folder, just use your downloads folder. Now take a screenshot. Let's do it. I'm just going to use selection. And let's go to other, week reports, CIS 106, labs, lab number 5, boom, lab 5, sorry, Q1.1.png, enter. Oh my God, I am really, really tired. I gotta apologize. I made a folder with the name of a file. That is ridiculous. Let me delete this nonsense. Oh my God, that is insanity right there. That's just funny. Let me go in here, labs, lab 5, remove. Okay, so now that I am in lab 5, let me just click on open and name my file. Question 1.1.png. Okie dokie. Now let's repeat the same thing, right? Well, not the same thing exactly. We are going to learn or practice how to move around using relative path. So the question here is, then what's the difference between absolute and relative? Well, as its name implies, a relative path is a path whose position is relative to your current location. So if I open my file manager right now, all of these folders over here are relatives of the student folder because they are children of the student folder. They are inside of the student folder, right? So videos is a child of a student. In the same reasoning that a student is a child of home. So if I go to home, notice that I have a folder there called student, which is a child of home. And if I go to root, then my entire computer is a child of root. So when we're using relative path, we don't start at the root. Instead, we start with the relative of our current position. So let me go home real quick. If I want to reach a file that is inside downloads here, right? Let me just see if I can, let's just make a quick file here. Just so if I want to reach this file, right? I can always, if I want to use relative path and I am inside home, I can start by saying downloads and then the name of the file. I don't need to start at the root because my current position has an easy access to that file. Let's see this in the command line. So first, I'm just going to clear the screen and I'm going to go home. Clear again. Clear your terminal window. We did that. Change the working directory to your home directory, right? So cd takes me home. Change the working directory to downloads. Now, if I press ls here, you're gonna see that downloads is a child of my current location. So I'm gonna do cd capital DOW tab enter, and I am in downloads now. Go back to directories. One way in which we can go back to directory up the tree. So let me go back to our little um, slide here. So if I am in lib and I want to go to user and then I want to go to root, I can easily do it by referencing the name of the previous directory. And how do we do that? Well, there is a nice little file. There is a nice little whatchamacallit shortcut you can say for this. So if you do cd and two periods, those two periods represent the previous folder in the chain, meaning those two periods are going to represent this folder. And if I go up again, I am gonna go to this folder. And if I choose to go up one more time, I go to the root of the file system, right? So let me type pwd here real quick. I want to go, according to the instructions, to directories. So I want to go back to a student and I want to go to home. Enter. And I'm in home. Where are you now? Where are you now? Remember that song? Change the working directory to documents. Okay, so I need to go to documents now, but I am not inside my home anymore. I am inside the home directory. So just gonna do it graphically real quick. So my file manager and my terminal are both in the same place. So to reach the documents folder, I need to go inside student, right? And then I need to go inside documents. And that's it. Let's take a screenshot. Okay, so this will be question 1.2.png enter. Okay, so let's talk about the ls command. So we use the ls command for listing files, and listing means taking a look. So let's clear the screen over here. Good. CD to go home, clear again. We're gonna download this file here, and you can download it by, clicking on this file. It's gonna be on the downloads folder. Then just move it to the home directory and unzip it. Yeah, we can do it graphically. This is what I do here in this picture, graphically. Or, we can just copy this command, paste it, enter, and this will do the job for us. Yes, replace it. Replace all. Thank you very much. Done. And this is gonna download the file using webget, and then it's gonna unzip the file in my current folder using the unzip command. If you don't have the unzip command installed, then you did something wrong in lab number 2. If you don't have it, just install it. Let's clear the screen. Change your present working directory to the user share folder. So let's go cd user share. Using absolute path, list all the files inside the, well, it should say lab 5 files. So let me pause the recording and fix this real quick. Okay, I already edited the page and the changes are getting published in GitHub as we speak. This is supposed to say lab 5 files. So change your present working directory to the using absolute path. Okay, we haven't done this part here. List all the files inside lab 4 files directory. Now it's asking me to list all the files, right? So if I'm listing all the files, I should also list hidden files. And it is one of the things that I recommend you do when you are new to working with ls. You're not gonna know all of the options of ls from the top of your head. That's not possible. I know a bunch of them that I use every day, but if I wouldn't be using them every day, I wouldn't know them. So I'm just gonna split my terminal in two, and I'm gonna type ls help. And these are all the options here, and they tell me exactly what each and every one do. And look at this. I have an option for all and an option for almost all. This removes the period and the two periods. I'm gonna use capital A because I don't wanna see these two entries in my output. So I'm gonna use ls and it's capital A, and then we go to lab 5 tab. There we go. So home, then lab 5 files. Press enter over here, and this is the output that you should get. Change your present working directory to lab 5 files. Let me see if the changes took effect. Still not. Long list all the files in your current working directory using human readable file sizes. Now, this is a 3 questions in one. So first part, change your PWD to lab 5 files. So let's do cd lab 5 files. Good. Now we're gonna do a long list. Now, how do we do a long list? Well, let's go over our help cheat sheet. So this is all escape, block, ignore, color, dir, directory, classify, group, human. What else we got? -L, long listing format. Oh, cool. This is another thing you can do too to save your time. Let me exit here and let me do man ls. And let's say that they are asking me to look for a long list. So I can do question mark long, enter, and it will do a search for the word long in the man page, right? And it says that, okay, so mandatory arguments, long options, that's not what I'm looking for. Let me press N for next. No more. Okay, so let me do question. Oh, sorry, I exited by mistake. List. What was the shortcut for next entry? Let me press H for help. No. Forward on one line. No, backwards, right, left, forward. See what I was saying earlier, that you're not gonna remember every single command. That's not possible. But you should learn how to look for help. Look at me, reading the man page of man. or the help page of man. So here, / searches for a forward pattern. That's what I want, forward pattern. That was my mistake. So let me quit / long. Okay, is this what I'm looking for? That's not what I'm looking for. Next, by doing n, I go to the next pattern. Long listing. This is what I'm looking for in a long listing. What does it say there? G, no group in a long listing. No, I still don't know what option does long listing. So N for next. There you go. -L, use a long listing format. So I know that ls minus L gives me a long listing format. Now, that's the next part of the question. Now, the other part is human readable file sizes. So how do I do human readable? Let me do the same thing, right? So first, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start from the beginning. So I'm gonna exit the man page. I'm gonna open the man page. I'm at the top, and to look forward in the document, I use the / and then I do the term that I'm looking for or the string that I'm searching for. And in this one will be human. Boom, human readable. And I can either use this or this. So -H gives me human readable. Anything else? No, that's it. Long list and human readable. And since I am already inside lab files, don't need to specify the directory. Good. Now, if I want to search backwards, right, we can use it with the question mark character. So question mark, and we can do all, and it's going to search backwards. So I'll press Q. Again, two ways for you to utilize this help option, right? I can open the man page and search for a particular keyword, or I can manually just load the help option of ls and then go through each and every one of the options one by one. Choose whichever method you find better to your workflow. Okay, now let's do a long list again. Okay, good. ls minus L, got that part out of the way. Inside lab 5 files, well, I'm already there, good. With human readable, well, I already learned that H is human readable. And sorted by file size. Okay, so that one I don't know. So again, I'm just gonna open man, ls, and I'm gonna look for sort. Let's see what I find. To list information in files. Nope, that's not what I need. Press letter N to go to the next entry. Letter N, what is this? -C, when combined with L and T, sort by show time, see time, newest time. This is all about sorting with time, but they want to sort by size, so this doesn't work for me. Press enter, next, next, next. Okay, so this one here does reverse sorting. That's not really what I'm looking for. -S, sort by file size. Eureka, I found it. So let's go, capital S. Good, moving along. That's it, press enter. And now notice that the first entry that appears, it happens to be also the largest with 2.5 megabytes. Long list, okay, good. So ls minus L, lab 5, I'm already there. Human readable, okay, well, this seems repetitive. And sorted by size, okay, guys know that capital S is size without the user nor the group name. Okay, that's getting tricky now. So how do I do that? Let me go all the way to the top. So I want to go all the way to the top, right? And I need to find group name and user. So I'm going to search for group. Let's see what I find. So, oops, I found it. No group already. Okay, good. So G. Good. Now, how about no user? That's a tricky one. Lowercase g like L, but do not list owner. Oh, there we go. That's what I want. Owner. You know what? I am also going to replace user for owner so that I can match this so that in the future, if you ever need to repeat this, you don't have to struggle like that. So G lowercase will replace or will remove the owner from here. So these two lines, right? These two words are going to be removed from the entry and showing their inode number. Okay. So, okay, you right now, This is just getting longer and longer. So let's see, let's look for inode. Let's see what we got. Oh, right there. Print the index number of each file. So good. That's it. Enter. And now we get the inode number at the beginning, permissions, no user, no group, human readable, right? And sorted by file size. List all the files inside the lab file directory. Oh, you know what we were missing? The -a here. However, we don't have hidden files in this folder, so it is fine. List all the files inside the lab 5 files, sorted by file extension and in reverse order. Okay, so this is no longer a long list, so I'm just gonna zoom out here. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. And let's do a regular ls, so no long listing. Sorted by file extension. Okay, so again, we're going back to sorting, so sort by word and change default name, sort to word, none -u, size s, time t, version v, extension capital X. Okay, so capital X. And we need to do it in reverse order. Okay, but that was something that we saw earlier. Reverse order. Hold on, let me scroll up a little bit. Oh, there you go. Lowercase r. Enter. Done. So the last entry is lowercase a. And the first entry is, well, X. Now, I finished this, so let's take a screenshot. I'm just gonna close my man page here. And I'm just gonna zoom out so that all my commands are here. Print screen, window, take a screenshot. Boom. This is question 2, that one, that PNG, and save it. And that's it. Now, let me go to, I'm gonna pause the recording and let me see what I can add for challenge question 3 that doesn't give away the answer. Okay, let me think about it. Time to prepare the submission. Okay, so let's go to lab number 5. Lab number 5. And there we go, lab number 5. Lab 5, Q1, Q2, Q3. Almost done. Okay, preview. Perfect. And export. So this is essentially how your solution, your submission for the challenge question is gonna look like. Obviously, I blur some of the parts over here because then it wouldn't be a challenge if I give everything away. I put a couple of hints here in an echo statement. So if you want to go take a look, you can go take a look. And that's about it. Let's actually push our changes to GitHub. So let's pull, let's add, let's commit. And let's push. And you know what to submit in Blackboard. If you have any issues with this lab, if there is a particular topic that is unclear and you would like a further explanation, just reach out, let me know. Take care.